Good day everyone, welcome to Studio 39 Design Studio. This is Richmond speaking, a resident architect. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to do a basic, simple roof truss system using the roof wizard in ArchiCAD. So before I continue, I'd like to encourage you guys to like, comment and subscribe to this channel because I'll be doing videos like this every week. With that said, this is the project I've been using for my previous videos here on YouTube. So this is sort of like a beginner tutorial series for ArchiCAD that I have created here. So in order to actually do this, we're going to be using the roof wizard tool, which is found in design under roof accessories, not design extras. Is it design extras or is it roof accessories? Oh, it's roof accessories, and then you go to roof maker. The reason why it's sort of like grayed out is because you can only use this tool in 2D. So we're just gonna go to 2D, so I'm just gonna press F2, which is then going to send me to my floor plan. As you can see, then I'm going to go back to design extras, roof extras I mean, and then roof maker, and these are all the tools that we are going to be using, but it's best to go to the bottom of the list and show roof maker toolbox. That's how it would show up. Sometimes it usually shows up like this, but you can always stretch it to so that it shows up like this. So you can always do that. So now what we're gonna do is let's cancel all that. So now what we're gonna do is we want to be manipulating sort of like this roof and creating a roof truss system with this. But before I continue, I'd like to go and create a layer. So under layers, I'm just going to Control L on my keyboard and say new, and then this is going to be a 3D roof spacebar and dot truss. Because I do have a roof, so I just want to be a roof truss. And also another thing that I want to do right now is I want to go to create another layer, which is going to be 3D roof. This one is going to be a ridge for the ridge that we created on the previous video. The ridge system that we created is this one, so I'm just going to select all of this. And then I'm going to group them by hitting Ctrl G, and then I'm going to set the layer to roof ridge, and then it just disappears. I can just say show all layers, then select this, and then say the selected layer and just switch it off if I wanted to do that. Now what I want, this is going to be under the 3D roof layer. And then I'm going to go to my floor plan, Control up to go to the next floor above. As you can see, the ridge capping is still showing, so I'm just going to click on all of this, and because they're grouped, they're all going to select, and then I'm going to switch it off right here. What I want to do also while I'm here is to sort of like ensure that the roof is not being cut. So the simple way to do that is to just click on the floor plan and section, and under floor plan display you just click this, and then you just say outline only, and there you go. The other thing that I want to do right now is I want to sort of like remove the cover fill, so I can go ahead and remove the cover fill, and I think that's okay. So another thing that I want to do is I want to ensure that I can see the floor below, so I'm going to go and show as a trace reference. So I'm right clicking on the ground floor, and then when I right click, it's going to open up an options drop down menu, and then I can just click on show as a trace reference. So basically that's what I did, and there you go. So now, in order to create this roof system, you can create it all at once. So the best thing to do is to click the roof wizard tool all at the which is the last one in the list. So you click that. Obviously it's going to request that you select one roof. So I'm going to say okay and just click on this roof right here, and then it's going to open up the roof wizard settings. Now let's just go through this. So I'm going to create something sort of like generic, something simple. Obviously we want to create the rafters. For me, the rafters, which is usually I create the rafters with a width of 38. That's the standard that I use, and the height of 114. That's something that I'm looking forward to. And then obviously the eaves can be vertical, they can be perpendicular, can be rectangular. It's really up to you, but I prefer the eaves to be vertical at this point in time. And the distance between the rafters will have to be 1000 for me, and the minimum will be 900, let's say. And then you can add extra rafters to big areas. I'm not really going to worry about all of this because I'll show you guys later how to hack this. So it's all good. And I'm going to go to the beam. Now the beam that's showing here is from my perspective should be the bottom chord. So instead of using a collar beam, which is not really standard practice where I'm from, I'm going to be using the tie beam instead. And what you want to do here is you want to set your tie beam by using to project 0, which is, for me, the height to the wall plate is around 2.6, and the width is going to be 38, and then the height is going to be 114, which is standard. And then the purlin, because we're using a hip roof rather than a gable roof, so we're going to be creating sort of like a purlin system. But this purlin system is called the ridge beam. So on the right hand side, this is create eaves purlin, which is also considered to be a wall plate where I'm from. So I don't want to create this right now, so I can just switch this off. On the left hand side is the actual ridge beam. The ridge beam, I wanted to have a width of 38 and then a height of 150, so I want it to be sort of like longer. So I really like that. And then there's these trimmers. So where I'm from, we don't use trimmers, so I'm just gonna switch off these trimmers right here because they're of no use to me. And then these are the ridge. So obviously it's the ridge, but it's the one that's connecting to the wall. So it's running it's running to the corner of the wall, because as I said, we're trying to create a hip roof here. So it's going to be 38 in width, and then it's going to be 150 in height, and then it's going to be vertical, which I prefer right now. So everything is pretty much set in place. We can set the surface, which is fine as being a wood pine, and then we're going to go to 3D roof truss so that it's in a different layer, easy to manage. And then we can just say okay. Reason why it's opening up this sort of like that information box, as a result of the last operation element has been created and or have changed their position on the current unseen story. So you can click OK, and as you can see, the reason why it's doing this, not showing up on this first floor plan, is because the roof, I drew it when I was on the ground floor plan because I wanted to see the overhangs. So if I go down the floor, you'll see that it's showing over there. So let's go to 3D and switch off the roof right here. So basically that's the roof truss system which I've just created, but I don't like the fact that it's showing on the ground floor plan. So the simplest thing to do is to actually select all of this, delete it, and then go to 3D, bring back the roof. So yeah, the roof here, Control T, and then I'm gonna set the home story to the first floor, and then I'm gonna say OK. As you can see, then it jumps in height. So I'm just gonna say the offset from the ground is going to be 0, and voila, that's what you're gonna get. And then I'm gonna go back to the floor plan, go to the first floor plan, and then I'm gonna click once again the roof. This time I'm gonna start off by clicking the roof. You can click the roof wizard setting and then say OK, and then select the roof that you want to manipulate. The settings remain the same, so I'm fine with that. So I can just click OK, and there you go. That's the roof system that we have created. And let's just go to 3D and see what's happening. So I'm gonna switch off the roof right now. As you can see, there are some issues with this because of the settings that we've placed. The distance from one point to another is 1 meter, but then again, when there's gaps, it does sort of like add another sort of like rafter, so which is pretty much basically bad practice because there's no consistency. As you can see, there's consistency on this side, but there's no consistency here. There's consistency there, but in some areas it's not consistent because it tries to sort of like compensate for the lack thereof proper spacing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this and just delete it, and I'm going to show you guys sort of like a trick. This time what we're going to be doing, instead of going for the roof wizard tool, we can use create a rafter and all of these elements separately, one at a time. So what you can do is you can click on this element right here and say OK. So it's saying please select one roof, and then I'm going to select this roof here, and then you can just create the rafter on its own, which is going to be 38 in width, and then 114 I mean in height, and then the hip rafter width is going to be 38, and then the eaves are fine being vertical, or the rafter angle to the top is going to be vertical. The eaves angle is going to be vertical, and then the width of the valley is going to be 38 also. I'm just gonna make sure that this is in the right layer, which is the roof truss, which is then OK. We can just click OK, and you can click at any point. Obviously, now what you're gonna have to do is you'll have to multiply this, so increment. So yeah, we can do something like that, and then just click 1000 center to center, and then it does increment, and then you'll have to sort of like manipulate it something like this. And the other problem I'm seeing with this is that it's already mitered, so but then again it's not part of this sort of like a ridge area right here, whereas this one might work, but these two definitely will not work. So it's really bad practice sort of like create all of these one by one. So the best thing to do is to click the next icon, which is multiple rafters, and then you click OK, select the roof that you want to create with, And then obviously the settings which were sort of like created on recently with the one rafter are already set in this one, in this view. So the distance in between is going to be 1000, and then you can say you can have a fixed number or you can have a fixed distance. Obviously the fixed distance is going to be 1000 center to center, and then you can have a distance fixed with a gap at the start or a gap at the end. I think for this one, let's just say a gap at the start, and we can say then okay. With that said, we're gonna click where we want our wall plate to be. Oh no, we're not supposed to be clicking the wall plate because that's already set. So that's the thing. So that's where the wall plate is going to be, and then we say okay. Then we click from that point to that point. As you can see at the beginning, the distance from one rafter to the next is sort of like it's not 1000 because of the settings that we have then set in place. The reason why I do this from that point to that point and not from that point all the way to the other side is, let me just show you guys exactly what would happen if you'd want to do something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's do that again, say okay, so okay once again. So I'm gonna go from that point to that point. So as you can see guys, is that it does create the proper system that we're looking for, but the problem is right here it leaves out the space right here, because now there's sort of like an extension for this hip roof system, which then does not sort of like calculate into ArchiCAD the wall plate area. So the reason why now I have to sort of like measure from that point to that point is because what I can do is, with the roof selected, multiple rafters, say okay, select that wall plate, and then say okay once again. From that corner to that corner, that's what happens. So that's another way to just hack the system right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and create all the rafters in this roof system. So multiple rafters once again, say okay, from that corner to that corner, select where you want your wall plate first, and then select the distance. Wall plate, corner to corner, wall plate, corner to corner, wall plate, corner to corner, wall plate, from that corner to that corner, once again wall plate, and then corner to corner. And then I'm going to do the same thing this side, wall plate from this corner to that corner. Starts with the wall plate, and then from that corner to that corner, wall plate from this corner to that corner. So that's the rafter system created, and you can see there's some geometry, sort of like there's some geometry, some system to it, which is quite well designed. So The problem here is that obviously now I have to create the ridge beams and everything like that. So instead of trying to create the ridge beams one by one by doing this, select the roof obviously, and then going to create these ridges. Obviously the width is going to be 38 and then the height is going to be 150 because I want them to be longer, and then the eave angle is going to be vertical. The layer is going to be roof 3D roof truss, and then the width right here is going to be 38, and then I'm just gonna say okay, and then you'll have to click. Alright, so something went wrong right there, so there you go. So you have to create all of this one by one, which is definitely not something ideal, but you know, it does show up right there. But I have to create them one by one, which is really not a good practice to do something like that. So the best thing to do is then to go back to the roof wizard tool, say okay, click the roof that you want to create the truss system with, and then obviously I want to create the I'm not really looking to create the rafters because the rafters are already there, and then this beam right here at the bottom, I'm not really looking to create that right now, and then also the purlins, this is what I want to create. It's in the right layer, and the right dimensions. The trimmers, no, and then the ridge beams also 38 150, which is the right right thing, and then it's vertical, so everything is fine. Then I'm gonna say okay, and then it creates everything for me. And then we go to 3D. As you can see, the whole system is then created over there. So basically that's how you would want to create a truss system using the roof wizard tool. You can go ahead and create your bottom chords, which then would run from that point to that point, depending on how you want to create it or where you want it to be. But what I would like to do while I'm still here is I'm going to use the slab tool, and then I'm gonna go ahead and send it to the layer of ceiling, change the reference plane location, and then the thickness will be 12, maybe for the gypsum board, and then instead of concrete, I'm just gonna say timber floor. No, not timber floor, timber roof. I'm just gonna say plywood for now. Oh, there it is, gypsum board. That's the one that I'm going to be using. So I'm gonna start from this point right here to that point, and then select it once again, click on this point, add on the polyline from here to there, and then from here to here, so that it just looks better when we open up in 3D. We don't have to see into the floor plan. We can just concentrate on the truss system right there. Another thing that I want to do is, once I bring in the roof here, as you can see, it's not well expressed, the what you call the truss system. It's not really expressed because I want it to be sort of like expressed. So I can click on the roof here and then go Control T to open up the roof selection settings, and then the thickness I want it to be 50, which is the actual size of the so-called purlins which are going to be on the roof. And then I want it to be from that point to that point right there, and then it does accentuate the roof truss system on its own right here. Another thing that I'm realizing right now is that if we're here, we can sort of like see through it. So there's a simple hack for that. So I can just go to Profile Manager, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise the roof crown, which we created on our previous video, edit, and then just go copy, drag a copy to the top right here. The reference plane remains the same, so it's going to stay the same, and then just say save, and then say OK, and there you go. Now it's covered. So basically that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just saw someone on YouTube actually doing the same thing that I'm doing right now, and I thought it would be something great to sort of like share with you guys. I hope you guys like this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to be doing videos like this every week. With that said, love you guys, God bless you, and goodbye.
Yeah,